If you like my Naruto stories, then show an asset. Now I'm getting started. Today is the 10th of October. On this day, the firstborn of Hokage and his wife was to be born. Bad weather seemed to be a sign for Namikaze and Uzumaki. When it was time for childbirth, Namikaze and Umbu, who were under his command, arrived there so that the Hokage would keep the seal on Kushina, since she is Jinchuriki Kubi no Yoko, and when their firstborn was born, they were insanely happy, but their joy did not last long. As soon as the woman took the baby in her arms to wash it and wrap it carefully in a blanket, a masked man appeared and kidnapped him. Namikaze was able to pick up his son and returned for his wife. Minato moved with Kushina into the house and put her next to her son on the bed. At that moment, Kushina realized from the look of her beloved that there would be a difficult fight against the masked man. How right she was. In this fight, Minato and Kushina sacrificed their lives so that Biju would not kill Naruto, but Namikaze had to seal the entire Kubi into a son. Little Uzumaki was assigned to a shelter, since he no longer had any relatives left. Uzumaki grew up quickly and developed well, much faster than his peers. On one of the hot days, the blonde, sitting in the park, where he liked to leave the shelter, took off his t-shirt, and many shinobi noticed the seal on the baby's stomach. They immediately realized that it was Jinchuriki Kubi no Yoko, who almost destroyed the village. From that moment, a new life began for Naruto Uzumaki. Every time he left the shelter, he ended up in the hospital. Hokage, the head of the village, could do nothing to protect the child from shinobi, and the kid remembered everything that was done to him, where and how he was beaten. When the time came, Uzumaki entered the shinobi academy. And Hokage gave him a place to live on the outskirts of the village, where he thought Uzumaki would be safe, but he was mistaken. There Uzumaki even more often received beatings from drunken shinobi. Naruto secretly made his way to the library after he was thoroughly beaten, where he took several books and disappeared. Thanks to these books, he wanted to understand at least something about the chakra and how to awaken it, and began to train his body for this. Finding an abandoned place, Uzumaki started running in circles and doing push-ups. Seeing a branch sticking out, Naruto took hold of it and began to pull himself up on it. For a year, Uzumaki was not weak, he was able to gain weight, which was very striking when he passed by his peers. This was also noticed by Hokage, who often watched Uzumaki using a crystal ball to observe the village. At one point, Naruto, leaving the apartment, noticed a couple of scrolls that were behind the door. Opening them, he saw techniques that would be useful to him for training. In a couple of months, Naruto was able to awaken the center of the chakra and began to train on the scrolls that someone put under the door for him. When he learned to walk on trees and water, there was no limit to his happiness. "I see you're learning fast, Naruto," Hiruzen said, coming out from behind the trees. "I'm trying to, Hokage-sama," the blonde man replied, jumping down from the tree. "Then I'll take them, and this is for you," Hiruzen said with a smile, taking the scrolls and putting 2 new ones. "Thank you, of course, Hokage-sama, but tell me, why do you need this?" Naruto asked, realizing that everything has its price. "I promised your parents to take care of you, and I will do everything that depends on me in terms of techniques." "And then everything depends on you," Sarutobi replied and disappeared in Shunshin. Naruto opened the scrolls, noticed the technique and realized that he had already seen how it was used. So he began to study the technique of shadow cloning. In a month he had learned it to perfection and could use it. Naruto has not opened the second scroll yet, deciding to leave it for later to hone what he already knows. When the second year of study at the academy ended, Uzumaki already knew everything that genin should have known and even more, thanks to the shadow cloning technique. During the holidays, the children mostly rested, while Uzumaki devoted himself to training in order to be able to stand up for himself. In constant training, summer quickly flew by for Uzumaki. He sent the clone for a walk around the village so that no one would guess that Uzumaki himself was training. He, in case of anything, had trumps up his sleeve. One day, walking home after training, Naruto noticed a man who was training people in taijutsu, quietly jumping up a tree. The blonde watched the training to understand the basics of taijutsu. Naruto spent 2 hours observing it. Isn't it easier to approach? The man asked, looking at the place where Uzumaki was sitting, but Uzumaki disappeared in Shunshin. An interesting generation is growing, said the man, realizing that the blonde was gone. When the holidays ended, Uzumaki began to send a clone to the academy, and at that time he was developing his body and trying to master the basics of taijutsu, training with a dummy, remembering the blows he saw. So, guys, everyone outside, let's have a sparring, said Sarutobi, entering the classroom. And looking at Uzumaki, the children began to go outside. Naruto, maybe you'll show up yourself, stop sending a clone here, Hiruzen said when everyone left the classroom. I can't, Hokage-sama, I have to train. I'm already tired of constantly going to the hospital, the blonde man replied and disappeared in white smoke. Raven, Hiruzen said, and Umbu appeared beside him. Bring Naruto. He's at an abandoned landfill, Sarutobi finished, and Umbu disappeared in Shunshin. 5 minutes later, Naruto was brought to the academy. Just wanted to give up and run away? The boy with the dog on his head asked. Kiba, you'd better worry about yourself, Uzumaki replied with a smile on his face and released Kida. The last sparring, Naruto Uzumaki vs Kiba Inuzuka, said Hiruzen, wanting to see what Uzumaki was able to achieve. The two entered the circle. Naruto was calm, because he understood that anger would lead to nothing. Inuzuka immediately attacked Uzumaki, wanting to quickly deal with him, but the blonde constantly dodged attacks. I'm tired of running away, you coward, Kiba shouted, starting to get mad that Uzumaki was just dodging the shadow cloning technique. The blonde replied, and about 10 clones appeared, who scored Kiba immediately. That's enough, Naruto-kun, Sarutobi said, and the clones immediately disappeared. The winner is Naruto Uzumaki, Irika said in surprise, realizing that Naruto was already on a completely different level. I'm sorry, but I'll go, the blonde man replied and went to the exit with the academy. The bell for the next lesson rang. Naruto sent a clone who was just looking out the window. The blonde, at that time, was at the landfill, where he created clones, placing them so that they would warn if anyone came to visit, and he himself began to hit the mannequin, which he made of wood, but it bothered all genins that Naruto was able to win so quickly, despite the fact that he himself never hit the opponent. Umbu arrived at the Uzumaki training ground. Naruto, Hokage wants to see you, he said, seeing that Uzumaki was hitting the dummy. I know. My clone is in his office. So leave me, please, the blonde man replied, without being distracted by Umbu. In many ways, you remind me of one person. But he went to the academy and trained himself, Umbu said, and disappeared in Shunshin. At the end of the day, Naruto collected kunai and shurikens, which were thrown by clones. He went home, and on the way he met drunk Shinobi. Oh, Jinchuriki, shouted Shinobi and began to go to Uzumaki, who was already very tired in training. 3 Shinobi began to clamp the blonde in the alley. One of them used the earth element and punched Uzumaki in the stomach. After that, the whole village shook from the released Kida. Urgently, all Umbu there, Hiruzen shouted, wanting to do everything quickly. Arriving at the scene, Umbu saw Naruto with a pierced stomach fighting against Shinobi. They knocked them out, and Raven, using Sharingan, knocked out Uzumaki, who had already healed the wound. Where am I? The blonde man asked, finding himself in a place that looked more like a sewer. Going to a loud growl, Naruto saw a large cage and the way 2 eyes were looking at him. Well, hello, Jinchuriki, said the unknown, looking into the eyes of the blonde from the cage. Hello, and who are you and where am I? The blonde man asked, not understanding anything. It's your subconscious. At the expense of who I am, you can find out from the Hokage, they answered him from the cage, and Uzumaki woke up in the hospital. Naruto was glad to be alive after being shot in the stomach. He got out of bed and went to Hiruzen for answers to questions. "Naruto, you'd better stay here for now," Hiruzen said, appearing in front of the blonde man who had almost left the hospital. "Okay, but answer me a question. Who is in me?" he asked, looking into Sarutobi's eyes. "Kyubi no Yuko, the nine-tailed fox demon who almost destroyed the village on your birthday," Hiruzen said seriously, looking at the guy's reaction. "Let's say, but who sealed it in me?" Naruto asked the question, depending on what Sarutobi would do. "The fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, did it, paying for it with his life," Hiruzen replied sadly, realizing that Naruto had already begun to realize something. "Okay, old man, just don't get mad, but I'm not here anymore. I'm a clone, Naruto trains himself," Naruto said with a smile and disappeared in white smoke. "I hope you can figure out for yourself why he did that," Hiruzen said. The blonde received information from the clone and decided to go into the subconscious, as he had read about him once. "Show yourself, Kyubi," Naruto said, knowing who was in the cage, and a nine-tailed fox appeared. "There is no fear in your eyes," said the fox, watching Uzumaki. "You won't see him. Answer me, please, who sealed you?" the blonde man asked, wanting to know the truth. "Your parents," the fox replied, disappearing into the shadow of the cage and throwing Naruto out of his subconscious. While Naruto was training, he saw Amba, who came for him. "Wait, is it true that the fourth sealed Biju in me?" Naruto asked, looking into Umbu's eyes. "Yes, giving his life for it, and his wife died helping him and saving their son," Umbu replied with a dog mask. "So, my father is Minato Namikaze, and my mother is Kushina Uzumaki," Naruto said quietly. Umbu disappeared with him, and they ended up in the Hokage's office. "Hokage-sama, you were right." "He guessed it," the Umbu fighter said, knowing that Naruto already understood everything himself. The blonde man looked at Hokage, then at Umbu, thinking what would happen to him now. Naruto, not understanding, looked at Umbu and Hokage, who were silent. "So, everyone leave the office, except Naruto." Hiruzen broke the silence and Umbu disappeared. "Hokage-sama, so I'm right. My parents are really Minato and Kushina," Naruto shouted, realizing what they were hiding from him. "Yes, Naruto-kun is not the kind of life they wanted for you. I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier. Your father has many enemies who will want to take revenge on him if they find out about you," Sarutobi replied, realizing that a lot is being decided now. "I understand you, old man. I would like to take the Chunin exam today, because I have already outgrown Genin," Naruto calmly said, calming down. "Watching you, I can tell that you are strong enough to become a Chunin. But, even your father was a genie. I can only take the Genin exam from you," Sarutobi said with sadness, realizing that Naruto can't jump over the ranks. "You have to understand how not who. You watched me every day in your balloon and saw that I had already outgrown all my peers. In sparring with Inuzuka, I showed only 10% of my strength," Uzumaki said, trying to convince Hokage that he was ready to become a Chunin. "You're right, Naruto, I watched you every day, but no, the laws are equal for everyone, or do you want to say that above the rules of the village?" Hiruzen asked and noticed a twinkle in the blonde man's eyes. "Which Minato had as a child. Then I'll see you soon, and you yourself will want me to become a Chunin," Uzumaki replied and left the office, slamming the door. "Now I see, Naruto, that you can surpass them," Hiruzen said sadly, wanting to see how Naruto will become stronger. Naruto went to the training ground, but with a different motivation, which gave him an incentive to get better every day. Having created about 40 clones, he sent 20 to study the technique, 10 went to throw kunai and shurikens to achieve the ideal, 10 to train taijutsu. And Uzumaki himself drove the chakra through the channels to make them stronger. Naruto spent half the day in a meditation pose. "Then I jumped up and started exercising. Am I interrupting?" the man in the green uniform asked. "No, but can you become my sparring partner? Uzumaki asked, looking at Jonin. Knowing that I'm Jonin, you still want it exactly. Well, come on, maybe you can surprise me, Shinobi answered with a smile and attacked Uzumaki with the first blow. Naruto became uneasy. Strong, you can't say anything, said Uzumaki, who was thrown into the trees. I didn't think that someone would be able to stand on their feet after this blow, said Jonin with surprise on his face, realizing that there were no abrasions on Uzumaki. Now I, shouted Naruto and attacked the shinobi. Focus on the strength of the fool and not on the speed of their application. The first gate, the man shouted, and caught Naruto's hand. If so, Naruto said with a grin, and one tail appeared. Polygon number 2, come early tomorrow morning. People like you will be able to change the village for the better, the man said and just left. Naruto Uzumaki, said Naruto, looking at the man. Mato guy, the green beast of Konoha, the man replied, showing his thumb. Thanks for sparring Guy-san, Naruto said and bowed, but Konoha's green beast is already gone. On the same day, late at night, when many were asleep, everything was fine. While Uzumaki was eating to himself, eating on his feet, the village was attacked. Naruto realized, this is his chance. Will you help the fox? Asked Naruto, going into the subconscious, but the fox was silent. Well, okay, and yes, thank you for giving a little of your strength then, it was something, said Naruto and wanted to get out of his subconscious. Try it, and it will be seen there, the fox replied and noticed how the blonde smiled, turning to him. You're not that scary, just like me, you were misunderstood by many. Uzumaki expressed and disappeared from the subconscious, and Uzumaki, feeling a surge of strength, decided to show that he had already grown out of genin, so that everyone can see that he can already stand up for himself, but alas, his years and lack of experience played a cruel joke on him. He's with us, we're leaving, shouted Shinobi and took the body of Uzumaki, whom he could easily knock out. Catch up and kill, said Hiruzen, seeing who was taken by the shinobi, but Jinchuriki appeared and all the shinobi were busy with him in order to save as many lives as possible. When Jinchuriki retreated, Hiruzen sadly went to the office. Raven, gather all the shinobi who can fight, I will personally lead them into battle, said Hiruzen, who had the desire to kill. For the first time in many years. No, Hiruzen, it's more important now to calm everyone down, said the woman coming into the office with the man. This is a child, shouted Sarutobi, who wanted Naruto back the most. We have said everything, the man replied, making it clear that they would not tolerate disputes. I'm sorry, Minato, Hiruzen said softly, a tear falling from his eye, and Naruto was already far from the village. When he was delivered, he was thrown into prison. What should I do with it? The man asked, looking at Uzumaki. Nothing, let him sit here until he is near death. To take Biju away from him, another shinobi replied, looking at Uzumaki as garbage. And when no one expected, a Naruto clone appeared in the office. Old man, I don't have long left, I didn't have much strength anyway, said the clone looking at Hiruzen. If I die, I'll take a lot of people with me. So goodbye, old man, the clone said and disappeared. The main thing is to hold on, they will come out for you soon, Hiruzen said quietly, realizing that he could be spied on. That's all, I spent a lot of effort on this clone, said the fox, looking at Uzumaki. Thank you, Matt, I'm in your debt. As soon as we get out of here, I will give you a lot of freedom so that you can kill them, Naruto said calmly, looking at Kubi. It's calm. Just try to break it, the fox answered angrily, seeing the calmness in Uzumaki's eyes. They didn't put a seal on me, so they don't have Fuin masters. Well, that's their problem. Look carefully, fox, just give me a little strength so that the technique does not fail, Naruto said with a smile, and a cocoon from the Kongo Fuso chain appeared. The guard, seeing that Uzumaki started doing something, called Kage. Tell me what he did? Kage asked, realizing that Uzumaki had gone into defense, which would not be easy to break. Nothing, I was just lying there, and then this appeared, the man replied, trying to figure out for himself what had happened. Let him die then here, Tsuchikage replied, realizing that Uzumaki went to the end. The guard understood that Naruto didn't have long to live. Since it was forbidden to feed him, Naruto spent 3 days in prison, alone with the fox without food and water, and already felt his end. It's rubbish, what are you going to do? The fox asked, looking at Uzumaki, who was already very weak and did not even stand on his feet in the subconscious. Nothing, I'll die, but I won't break. I can't do that, otherwise the old man will think that I can't become a chunin, Naruto replied with a smile. Tear part of the seal, the fox growled angrily, hitting the cage. Don't make a noise, what's it to you? You've already lived a long time anyway. So just relax, Naruto replied, looking at the fox. Kushina's character, Minato's look. It's a pity that your story will not be long, Naruto, said the fox, and calmed down, and waited for the end. Did they suffer when they died? Naruto asked, wanting to know a little more about his parents. Uzumaki's agreement, tear off part of the seal. And I'll show you their death, the fox replied with a smile, realizing that he had something to interest the blonde. I'm going to die exactly, the blonde man said and tore off part of the seal. The fox helped him get to her by stretching out his paw. 5 minutes should be enough to hide as far as possible. Then I won't sleep for a long flee. So, don't think, just run as if for the last time, the fox growled with a grin, and Naruto removed the chains. The guard saw Naruto begin to be covered with the Biju chakra. Without having time to understand anything, Uzumaki broke through the walls and escaped from prison. Shinobi immediately raised the alarm when they saw Jinchuriki, who was running away from the village. Uzumaki, realizing that he can still control himself, created about 100 clones that attacked Shinobi, thereby buying yourself extra time to escape. Arriving at the border, Uzumaki collapsed. Grab him and let's go, said Shinobi Willow, realizing that Naruto is ready, and immediately lost his head. Who else? Kakashi asked, looking at the Willow Shinobi. Come on, what are you? Itachi Uchiha said, activating the Sharingan, and about 10 more shinobi from the Uchi clan appeared. We're leaving, quickly, the Willow Shinobi shouted, wanting to escape so as not to experience the power of the Uchiha clan and the copying ninja Kakashi Hatake. No one will leave here alive. The Willow Shinobi heard behind their backs and saw Sarutobi Hiruzen there. As Sarutobi said, no one returned from Willow back to the village. Hiruzen took Naruto in his arms and went to Konoha, thanks to 3 shinobi. It happened very quickly, at the expense of 3 shinobi. These are the ones Minato Hiraishin taught. And only 3 can do it. After delivering Naruto to Konoha, Hiruzen immediately went with him to the hospital, where the doctors were ready for the arrival of the patient. Thanks to the pills of the Akimichi clan, they were able to bring him to his senses, after which they left him in the ward where Uzumaki was gaining strength. Gather a council. Hiruzen said, realizing that there would be a war. Yes, Hokage-sama. Uchiha answered and disappeared in Shunshin. Kakashi, start cooking it. Mentally, he is already ready for a lot. Hiruzen said thoughtfully, taking out the phone. Yes, Hokage-sama. Hatake replied and disappeared in Shunshin. Half an hour later, everyone was already in the meeting room. Why did you gather us, Hiruzen-sama? Hayashi Hyuga asked as he was about to go to bed. Naruto Uzumaki was returned to Konoha today. Those who pursued him are killed. Hiruzen replied without emotion. I would have died and that's it, but now there will be a war because of it. The woman from the Inuzuka clan replied. On Naruto's birthday, the elders and I decided that no one would know the truth about his parents, but enough of these games. The boy is not small, and he could guess who they were. Naruto Uzumaki is the son of Minato and Kushina. Sarutobi said and saw the surprise in everyone's eyes. Well, then there will be a war. Minato helped a lot in the last war. Let's not forget, your children might not have been born into this world. If it wasn't for Namikaze, who saved your asses," said Fugaku, remembering a friend. Finally, I will be able to stretch a lot. And then I'm already tired of sitting in the clan. Hayashi said with a smile on his face. It's time to shake the old days. We'll have to clean the staff and stretch, said the head of Akimichi. Of all the shinobi, only Kakashi will not join the battle. He will stay to teach Naruto. Hiruzen said, seeing the fire in everyone's eyes. This is bad. Kakashi is a very strong shinobi. Plus his experience and skills with Sharingan, said Fugaku, realizing that they already have one loss. Then it's decided, we are preparing for war. Don't worry about the elders, they also agree, said Hiruzen, knowing that the elders were killed. They are now at home in bed. And no matter how he gave this order to 3 shinobi, the best and most loyal Umbu, the next day Naruto could not eat much anymore. In the evening, I ate pills to restore the body a little. At night Uzumaki got out of bed, leaning on the wall. It's a little early, Naruto, while you rest a little more. You'll start training soon, said Hatake, catching Naruto by the shoulder. Kakashi Hatake, Naruto replied and, without stopping, went on. Then get ready, we start now. With sadness, but with understanding, Kakashi said and disappeared with Naruto in Shunshin. Don't worry about me, the rug won't let me die just like that. He has something else to tell me, Naruto replied, trying to stay on his feet. As soon as you feel that everything is the limit, tell them we'll stop. Hatake warned, and took out a kunai, and the fox dragged him into the subconscious, where he showed the death of his parents. Kakashi didn't know that Naruto was unconscious. When there was not much left for Zhu, Uzumaki repelled kunai's blow by taking his own from the pouch that Hatake brought him. So they didn't die because of the fox that day, but because of the masked man, Uzumaki said, and took out another kunai. This surge of strength, Hatake said softly, opening his eye, and saw a fox. Not today, Kakashi-san, Uzumaki said, and after removing the kunai back, he went to his room. Naruto didn't go home. He came to the landfill, which replaced his house. You need to recover in a different way, not in a hospital, Naruto said, and took off the top of his clothes and threw them on the ground. Then I ran around the circle and started doing everything as before. Hokage-sama, Naruto has already started training, Kakashi said when he found himself in the Hokage's office. He inherited Kushina's character. Well, let him take Madogai and train him. When the war starts, most likely you will go too, said Hiruzen, in a calm voice, and looked at the photo he was holding in his hand. We always miss those who are no longer with us, Hokage-sama, Hatake expressed with sadness, knowing who is in the photo. We went through a lot with her, I had 3 wars with me. On each of them, I lost dear people, and for some reason I'm lucky and that's it. You can be free, Kakashi, expressed Hiruzen, and Hatake disappeared in Shunshin. In the morning it became known that there would be no war if they forgot about the fact that Willow stole Naruto. Hiruzen and I at least agreed, wishing that the children would not lose their relatives. At night, Hiruzen went home to sleep normally, realizing that Naruto was in the village. Once upon a time, you were always for justice, Minato said in his sleep. He's not ready to fight yet. There is no one left after you and Kushina who could inspire fear only with their name, Sarutobi replied, seeing Minato with Kushina. Our son will always be ready. Just trust him, Hiruzen. He can handle it, Kushina said, standing in her husband's arms. Can you remind me what you wanted when Tobirama-sama died? Minato asked, and Hiruzen woke up drenched in sweat. Raven, said Hiruzen, coming out of the house. Yes, Hokage-sama, Umbu replied, kneeling in front of Hokage. Tell everyone, it's a week to prepare. Then we perform. Hiruzen said, thinking about the dream. Hokage-san, can I talk to you? Naruto asked, appearing near Hiruzen and Raven. Tell Naruto, believe our conversation, it will remain only between us. The Umbu won't tell anyone anything. Hiruzen replied, making it clear that he trusts. I know about the war. Please don't do this. So we will only start a cycle of hatred, and it's too early to do it yet. First I'll learn something, and then I'll do everything myself. Uzumaki said, in a calm voice, and without emotion, and Hiruzen remembered the words from the dream. Just trust him. From now on, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze is appointed Chunin Konoha. Raven, Dog and Weasel will take care of your training. You don't have much time. When you graduate, everyone you studied with, be ready. I will take the Jonin exam, in front of the whole village. Hiruzen replied seriously, deciding to make Minato's receiver out of Naruto. I understand you, Hokage-sama. I promise I won't let you down. The blonde man replied with a bow. It's all good of course, but, sorry Naruto, it's necessary. Today, if you feel well, you will be checked. We need to know something. Hiruzen said, taking out the phone. I understand Hokage-sama, you need to make sure that I am not mentally broken. The blonde replied, realizing that this is a necessity. It's good that you understand Naruto-kun. Fugaku Uchiha will check it. I don't want to send it to Ibiki, he may not play too much. Hiruzen said with a smile, and Naruto disappeared with the raven. It took a couple of hours for Fugaku to check, but he didn't tell anyone about the Fuso Kongo chains, realizing that these were the affairs of the Uzumaki clan, and on the same day Naruto started training with the Ro squad. For a year and a half, Naruto trained in the village. During training, we learned that Naruto has 3 elements: fire, wind and lightning, which did not surprise Umbu so much, who knew that these elements were opposite. In the future, Naruto will be an equal rival for many shinobi, but during this time, they learned not only what elements Uzumaki has. Naruto was able to learn ash clouds from fire, thanks to Asuma Sarutobi, who was asked by Hiruzen. The fire dragon he was trained by Weasel and Raven. Elements of wind, dust storm and vacuum bullets, which was already not bad for Chunin for a year and a half. He was also able to create his own technique, but he did not show it to anyone yet, since it was not ready yet and spent a lot of chakra. The blonde understood that he still had a year and a half to prove that he was believed for a reason, and at night, while everyone was sleeping, he went to train. I knew you were here, said the dog, sitting on a tree near the landfill. I can't let anyone down. That's enough, I was already in captivity and I really didn't like it there. Uzumaki replied and created clones. Minato-sensei, he asked me to give this to you when I realize you're ready, said the dog, and jumped down from the tree, taking out a scroll from his pouch. Thank you senpai. Uzumaki answered, taking the scroll and opening it. Better go get some rest. You're learning everything so fast for your age, said the dog, and disappeared in Shunshin, so it's time to get the second scroll. And Uzumaki took out the second one, which Hiruzen handed to him. There Naruto saw 2 techniques, Rasengan and Hiraishin. I won't let you down, said Naruto, realizing that his father entrusted him with his techniques and created another 100 clones. The clones learned Rasengan by the instructions all night, without closing their eyes. The blonde was dealing with the basis of Rasengan to understand all the subtleties of this technique. Let him train, don't touch him, said the dog, seeing the weasel and the raven. Did you give him the scroll? Raven asked. Yeah, I think sensei would have done it too, seeing how much and fast Naruto is growing. You are free for today, I will inform the Hokage about it, said the dog, and Umbu disappeared. The dog himself went to Naruto. Let me show you how Naruto does it. Look carefully and remember, said the dog, putting a rubber ball in his hand and tore it. Use the chakra correctly, try to invest it, but not much. A hole should appear, the dog finished and threw about 10 balls. Good, the blond man answered thoughtfully and took the ball, but I couldn't, all the desire burst. Then the dog brought 40 more pieces, and he sat down on a tree and took out a book. Naruto killed all day to break the ball and he succeeded. You should have seen this sensei, he grasps everything on the fly, said the dog. Realizing that Naruto managed very quickly and went on to explain further, Naruto killed half a year, just to make a copy, because besides that, there were other trainings, but at night, when Naruto was alone, he was able to use Rasengan and punched a tree through. This was watched by Kakashi, who believed that Naruto would succeed. Seeing this, he went to the residence. Seeing the light there, he realized that the Hokage was still working. Hokage-sama, Naruto was able to learn Rasengan. I think it's time. Hatake said, stepping out of the shadows. Tomorrow Jiraiya will arrive, it will be seen there, and now send him to bed. Sarutobi replied with a smile on his face and Kakashi was gone. He appeared at the training ground, saying that there would be a task tomorrow. He was able to persuade Naruto to go to bed. In the morning, the legendary Sannin appeared in the village, who was caught spying on the girls. He was caught by Hiruzen, who was passing nearby. Years don't change you. Hiruzen said, looking at the student. Yes, that is. Jiraiya replied, looking at sensei. Come on, I'll introduce you to Minato and Kushina's son. Hiruzen said, and Jiraiya fell into a stupor. I thought he died with him. Sannin answered with joy, realizing that his godson was alive. Let's go. And now let's talk about your leaving in a place with him for a year. Hiruzen added with a smile, and he and Sannin went to the training ground, where Uzumaki was already training. Walking along the road, Jiraiya talked with Hiruzen about the time while Sannin was not in the village. Sarutobi said that Naruto was kidnapped, but he did not break down, and was even able to escape. Thanks to Biju. Is that him? Jiraiya asked, watching Naruto break the tree using Rasengan. Yes, very similar to them. Kushina's character, appearance, Minato's reasoning and composure. A rattling mixture, for the shinobi of the Uzumaki clan. Hiruzen answered, taking out the phone. And why would I have to take him with me? Sannin asked, realizing that not everything is so simple. Uchiha do not give rest, they do not want it is clear what. In a year, I'll fix it anyway. And so, God forbid, they will want to extract the bijou from it. So get off the shinobi radar. And start learning Hiraishin. Sarutobi seriously expressed after clogging his pipe with tobacco. Okay, I'll do what I can. I hope he wants to sign a contract with the toads like his father. Said Jiraiya and went to Naruto. Jiraiya-san. Hatake said when he saw Jiraiya coming towards them. Then Kakashi-san. You really are their copy of Naruto. Said Jiraiya coming up to Uzumaki. Naruto-kun, this is Jiraiya. Your father's teacher, and Sannin the toad, said Hiruzen, seeing without understanding in the blond man's eyes. Nice to meet you, and now excuse me, I need to train. The blond man replied and attacked the raven that appeared. Naruto, today you and Jiraiya will leave Konoha, so go get ready. Hiruzen said seriously and Naruto disappeared in Shunshin. Hokage-sama, I'm talking about the clan. The case is gaining momentum. Said the raven, making it clear that it would be hot. Okay, tell Fugaku I want to know what he wants. Let him come to the residence. That's where we'll talk to him alone. Sarutobi replied and disappeared in Shunshin. Half an hour later, Fugaku came to the Hokage's office. And what, do you want a Fugaku? Hiruzen asked, not wanting a battle against the Uchiha, the deaths of Danzo Shimura, and the Root. And the war against Willow. We were preparing the whole village, and you chickened out, not wanting to lose people. Uchiha replied, activating the Sharingan. Danzo is not a pleasant person, but his death will only be a minus for the village. Only his root can do the dirty work for Umbu. At the expense of Willow, Naruto personally asked to postpone it. So you can all forget about the war already. This is now Naruto's personal business. Hiruzen said, smoking his pipe. Then I think we will not agree with you. The root occupies the land of the Uchi clan. So 2 of our clan have also disappeared by this time. Fugaku said sadly and disappeared. So the Ku is an old man. Said Naruto coming out of the shadow of the office. You shouldn't have heard that, Naruto-kun, Hiruzen replied angrily. Understanding what could happen. Just for the record, I'll kill Danzo myself when the time comes. I know that he is guilty of the death of my parents, and so you can solve the problems with the Uchiha. Uzumaki said and disappeared in white smoke. What did you think of Naruto? Hiruzen said, realizing that he was alone in the office. In the evening, the same day, Umbu Hokage were collected. Everyone listen carefully. You must destroy the Umbu root and kill Danzo Shimura. Hiruzen said, realizing that he could solve the problem. Yes, Hokage-sama, Umbu replied and disappeared into Shunshin. I won't let you fight him. Hiruzen said into the void, remembering that Naruto wants to kill Danzo himself. The Umbu carried out the Hokage's order. But not entirely. They did not touch the Umbu root, only killed Danzo. After that, a whole year passed, and Uzumaki appeared in the village. Yes, nothing has changed. Naruto said, standing at his training ground. Changed, a lot has changed, Naruto-kun. Said Hiruzen looking at Uzumaki, who has grown up a little. Only I don't understand, Hokage, where are the dog, the raven and the weasel? Uzumaki asked, thinking that they would be here too. Today is the graduation from the academies, and they will have teams, and you have a fight for the ranks of Jonin, against me. Sarutobi answered and went to the exit of the landfill. I would like to join the Umbu. It's a little early for me to be a Jonin. I don't want to hang around with everyone and teach anyone. Uzumaki said in a calm voice. From the beginning of the battle, and then it will be seen. Look around the villages, visit your parents. In an hour, I'll be waiting for you in the arena. Finally, Hiruzen said and disappeared into the shade of the trees. Naruto did not waste time and immediately went to his parents, where he stayed for an hour, after which he disappeared in Shunshin. Once in the arena, I saw shinobi of all ranks who were present here. Today there will be a fight for the ranks of Jonin. Naruto Uzumaki vs Hokage. Hatake said, seeing the composure in the blonde man's eyes. I hope you're ready, Naruto, there will be no indulgences. Hiruzen said and took off his cloak. I don't need them, the main thing is to be ready. Believe me, I can surprise you. The blonde man answered and took out a kunai, and Hatake disappeared, so as not to disturb anyone. Naruto immediately threw a smoke bomb, which he took out of his pocket to reduce the field of view for the Hokage. That won't work against me. Hiruzen said and used the wind element to remove the smoke. The element of fire, the fire dragon. The blonde replied, and the wind got under the dragon that was flying in the Hokage. Not bad, but is that all? Sarutobi asked, dodging the technique. Shadow cloning technique. The blonde replied and started throwing kunai and shurikens at Hiruzen en masse. Show your limit. Someone from the arena shouted. Why not? The blonde man replied and threw a kunai that flew past the Hokage. Slowly. Hiruzen said sadly, dodging kunai. Are you sure? The blonde man asked, and threw another checker. More tricks. Said Kiba, looking at the fight. Quick. Seeing the technique, Kakashi said, realizing that Naruto had already disappeared. Rasengan. The blonde man shouted, appearing on Sarutobi's ass, and wanted to strike. Hiruzen saw Naruto behind his back at the last moment and was able to dodge the technique, but he was caught by the clone's legs. I underestimated you, Naruto-kun, and now let's be serious. Hiruzen said after killing the clone who was holding his legs. Uzumaki began to break through the Biju chakra. This is already much more interesting. Fugaku said, watching the fight. The blonde attacked Hiruzen in close combat, realizing that he would be able to push physically, since the strength of the fox and him are not at bad levels. That's enough. Jiraiya shouted, noticing that Uzumaki had begun to form a third tail. Naruto-kun, can you control him? Hiruzen asked, seeing how the chakra just disappeared. Not to control, but to work together. The blonde man answered and threw the kunai. Then I caught him on the other side of the arena. Sensei, he did it. Hatake said, realizing that Uzumaki was able to learn Hiraishin. From this day on, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze will join the ranks of Konoha's Jonins. Hiruzen said with joy on his face, and Umbu handed him Jonin's vest. Why Namikaze? Sakura asked, looking at Iruka. Naruto, the son of the fourth Hokage and Kushina-san. Iruka replied, looking at Naruto. Naruto, instead of taking the vest, just disappeared in Shunshin. He ended up in the Hokage's office, where Hiruzen assigned him to Konoha's Umbu, or rather to the root, to do dirty work that others cannot do. Naruto arrived at Umbu root, along with Hiruzen, having already received a fox mask. This mask, and yellow hair, said the man appearing in front of Hiruzen and the fox. It's a fox. From that day on, he is in the root Umbu. For a week he will not leave the aisles of the base to find out where and what is here and not train much until I call him. Said Hiruzen and disappeared in Shunshin. Don't worry, fox, no one will leave you in trouble here. Let's just say we're all like a family here. A girl appeared and put her hand on the blonde man's shoulder. After that, all the Umbu froze in shock from the ki that the fox released. So I understood correctly. Don't worry, Naruto, everyone here is a seasoned shinobi and no one will tell who is under the mask. Removing the mask, the man said, I am Yamato. The man introduced himself by extending his hand. Naruto. Uzumaki replied, removing the mask from his face. The firstborn of Minato and Kushina, besides also Jinchuriki, who was in captivity and returned from there. Wow, a wonderful company. With surprise, the girl said, taking off her mask, you can call me Mayuta. The girl finished holding out her hand. Come on, Naruto, I'll show you your room. Hokage asked me to look after you, so you will live with me. Yamato said and went to show Naruto the room. Isn't he a little weak for Umbu? The girl asked, appearing near Yamato. Do you want to put the words of the Hokage in doubt? Uzumaki asked, and began to be covered with the Biju chakra. I ask everyone to remember once and for all. Uzumaki succeeded in joining Umbu by giving battle to Hokage-sama. I do not advise testing it. Hokage-sama decided to send him to us, so there are reasons for that. Yamato said, becoming serious, and all the Umbu disappeared in Shunshin. Uzumaki spent a week training like a dam without asking anyone for help or a hint. Did the Hokage-sama want to see me? The fox asked, appearing in the Hokage's office. Yes, there is a job for you. Your task is to help the 7th team. Kill everyone who gets in the way. You have to understand, mistakes are not allowed. Hiruzen said and saw only calmness in his eyes. There is a Hokage-sama. The fox replied, kneeling on one knee. The land of waves. Once you get there, you're on your own. Act on the circumstances. Get out immediately. Said Hiruzen, and the fox disappeared in a white haze. The fox immediately went to the land of waves. Arriving there, he saw a team of genins who were training Hatake Kakashi, who was watching them. So the root. Kakashi said when he saw the fox that was sitting in the tree. you know Kakashi, only the root, and performs dirty tasks. The fox answered, appearing behind Hatake. Are you going to help or just kill? Kakashi asked, taking out a book. Help and kill if you get in the way. You must understand that I will complete the tasks at any cost. Said the fox and disappeared in Shunshin. Kakashi, realizing that the fox was serious, did not tell anyone anything about him and went to help the students who could not climb a tree. Damn it! Shouted Uchiha, who was falling all the time. Sasuke-kun, you will succeed. Sakura, who had already climbed the tree, said with a smile, and a fox appeared, who climbed the tree with a calm step. Relax, Sasuke Uchiha, or do you want to upset Itachi? Said the fox, knowing how Sasuke wants to become like his brother. What did you think? Hatake thought to himself, not understanding why Umbu helps Genins. Uchiha relaxed and calmed down. And now walk as if for the last time. The fox shouted. Uchiha, having exhaled, went up the tree. Not a confident step, but better than before. You are very far from Itachi. Sasuke. I'll give you one piece of advice, forget about everything you were taught at the academy. Said the fox and disappeared in a white haze. Kakashi-sensei, who is this? Sai asked, looking at where the fox was standing. Nobody. It's better to forget that you saw someone. It will be better for you. Hatake replied, not understanding what the root wanted to do. Sensei, when will we go back to Konoha? Sakura asked, descending to the bottom on the 5th point. Not soon. Something tells me that Zabuza is alive and will show up again. Hatake replied, thinking over a plan. After that, the Kakashi team went to eat. As the Genins thought. And what do you want from Sasuke? Kakashi asked, appearing near the fox. Unlike you, Kakashi, I know him much better. I just gave him motivation. Which was missing at the moment. Answered the fox and disappeared in a white haze. This is the second clone, plus this chakra and the thirst to kill. So that's what you chose instead of Jonin's vest. Hatake said to himself, understanding who was behind the mask. So a couple of days passed, and the team once again guarded the people who were building the bridge. As I thought. Said Hatake, seeing Zabuza. This time, your tricks won't work, and he will take care of your Genins. Zabuza replied, and his partner appeared. On you, Zabuza, I'll take it on myself, said the fox, appearing from behind a tree. I didn't think the Umbu would be here. Zabuza said, realizing that Umbu is not a joke. I've changed my mind, I'll take two. Said the fox and disappeared in Hiration, and immediately Haku's head fell to the ground. Exactly where the fox put kunai, who punched his opponent's head. How beautiful it is. Said the fox, looking at Mummy, who was furious. You forgot about me. Hatake shouted, and punched Mom's chest using the surprise effect. I didn't want to die like that. I wanted a fair fight. Said the fox, wanting to fight with Mummy. That's it. Sakura replied, who was shaking with fear. The fox took the bodies and disappeared in Shunshin. Thanks. Said Tazuna, coming out from under the bridge with the workers. You're welcome. I think it's time for us to leave now. Hatake replied. And went to the team. In the evening, the Genins together with Hatake left the land of waves and went to Konoha. Upon arrival, the fox reported to the Hokage that he had killed the swordsman of the mist and his friend, after which he went to the root base, where he trained, creating clones. Yes, you are a little weak for Umbu, since you have been doing the task for so long. Said the girl, appearing in front of the fox. I'm not going to prove anything to you. The fox replied, restraining his emotions. Danzo-sama was right when he said that Hokage is blind, and now he also takes children to Umbu. The girl said and wanted to leave. In vain. The fox answered and appeared in front of the girl. Are you saying that the Hokage, the head of the village where you live, doesn't know what he's doing? Uzumaki finished taking off his mask. That's exactly what I said, baby. The girl said with a grin, taking off her mask. Uzumaki released ki, his and the fox. Calm down, Naruto. Yamato said, appearing behind Uzumaki. You couldn't clean up after Danzo, so I'll have to. Uzumaki replied and disappeared in Hiration. The girl fell to her knees and a kunai was put to her neck. You may not agree with my words, but Hokage, the head of the village in which we all live. We have all sworn to protect this village and country from the shadows. Uzumaki, who had a fox pupil in his eyes, said, You're still young. The girl answered, looking at kunai. About Shimura Danzo. I would personally kill him. He is responsible for the death of my parents. It was he who helped the enemy to get into the village. Uzumaki said and began to be covered with fox's chakra. Who told you that? Yamato asked, wanting to understand from where such information from Uzumaki. I know all about that day. I saw him. Uzumaki shouted and made an incision for the girl, after which he removed the kunai. Okay, but I won't put you on a team with anyone. I don't think anyone would want that. Yamato said seriously, realizing that Uzumaki's thinking is very different from everyone else at the root. You have the balls, if you go to the end. Seeing the blood, the girl said. Who was surprised? One is calmer. I will know that I will not have to trust my back to people like her. Naruto replied and disappeared in Hiration. Are you serious? The girl asked, looking at Yamato. Yes, I'm serious. Naruto will go alone on a mission. With his potential and training, he can quickly become a captain in the future. You'd better talk to him in a normal setting, not at the base. Yamato replied and disappeared into Shunshin. Naruto was at a closed training ground where only Umbu and Tuumbu route could be located. While training there, Uzumaki was calm that no one would disturb him. What's wrong? The fox asked, feeling that something was wrong with Naruto. I remembered the academy. Uzumaki replied and thought. And what exactly? The fox asked. Of all the people I studied with there was only one person who did not treat me with contempt. Naruto said and took out a kunai. I know, kid, but I don't really treat Uchiha and you know perfectly well why. The fox growled, understanding what Naruto was talking about. You know, I'm always happy to talk to you. You have been with me since the first day, and, I hope, until the last, but something is wrong, fox. Naruto answered thinking and sat down on the ground. It's even scary to ask what you're up to. Interested, expressed the fox, realizing that from Naruto, you can expect everything. All in good time, my furry friend. Naruto replied with a smile and came out from under consciousness. Senju and Namikaze had a friend Uchiha, and now it means Uzumaki. The fox growled, realizing that the blonde had made up his mind. The blonde was training, not thinking about anything now, except to become stronger and not to be killed on a mission. So 2 weeks passed, during which Naruto, with the help of Hiruzen, was able to learn several techniques. When the blonde, after training on the weekend, walked through the village and saw the shinobi of another country, he was not at ease, although he knew that it was time for the exam for the title of Chunin. You'd better put him on the ground and get out. Naruto heard, and went there. And then what? Shinobi asked from Suna, holding the boy by the scruff of the neck. Or I'll kill you and your whole family. Uzumaki replied, holding the girl who was with them by the neck. Kankura, let him go, that's not why we're here. Said the red-haired boy, looking at Uzumaki. One-tailed means. Naruto said, looking at Shinobi, who was calm. And I thought that the demon was me, but the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed and this look, said the boy and disappeared in Shunshin. Soon as Shinobi put the boy on the ground, after which Uzumaki released the girl and they disappeared. Thanks Naruto. Said the boy hugging Uzumaki. You're welcome to Konohamaru, now run home and better not tell anyone what happened here. The blonde man replied with a smile on his face and went about his business. He changed a lot after the academies. Sakura said, realizing that Naruto is no longer the one who studied with them. I haven't even seen him more than once in Jonan's life. Said Sai thoughtfully and took out a book. I see. Uttered Uchiha, putting 1+1 in his head, and he went to the auditorium, where the examiner was waiting for them. The beginning of the first exam. Now you will be overblown with tests. Each has 9 questions. Your task is to answer everything. If someone is caught cheating, the whole team will be suspended. As soon as everyone finishes with the tests, there will be a 10th question. Ibiki said, seeing the panic in the eyes of many genins, let's get started. Ibiki finished. And the genins, having received the tests, began to answer them. After about 5 minutes, they already began to expel genins who were caught cheating. The fox was watching the exam and noticed that Uchiha doubted the test. Yes, he's still a long way from Itachi. Naruto said, looking at Uchiha. Let Ki out. You'll have a couple of seconds for everything until they figure out what's what. Kyubi replied, and Uzumaki took out a kunai with the mark of the thunder god. Naruto released Ki and, using Hiration, helped Uchiha. At the end of the exam, before the 10th question, of course, Ibiki caught a lot of people cheating. That's it, the 10th question. On one side is the task that needs to be completed. On the other, the life of a comrade. What you choose. If the tasks are transferred to the right side of the classroom, if a friend, to the left. Ibiki said, and released his ki to put pressure on the genins, but Naruto appeared in Jonan's room and released his ki. So that genins would stop being afraid of Ibiki. I didn't think that Hokage would send you here. Said Hitaki, who was present at the exam. Kakashi, to be honest, I would choose to save a life right now. The blonde replied, looking at Hitaki, who was surprised by this, and Uzumaki noticed that Uchiha wanted to move. To which Naruto released ki again. Uchiha did not push his luck and sat down. Naruto-san, please leave your audience. Ibiki said, realizing that the blonde was helping. Na Ibiki-san. Anko-san is sick and I will conduct the second stage. These are the decisions of Hokage-sama. The blonde man answered, taking out a kunai. He just became a jonin, and he will already take the exam. Sakura said, realizing that Naruto would not be gentle with them. Sakura, sit silently. Uttered Uchiha, giving this a hint. So 5 minutes passed while the genins were thinking where to sit so as not to fail the exam. Many stayed where they were, looking at Uzumaki, who prompted Uchiha. Everyone who chose right or left, the exam is over for you. Shinobi, these are people who should not allow death and must complete tasks. Ibiki said, and looked at Hitaki. Then I think it's time to introduce myself. I am Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, your second examiner. And yes, Ibiki-san, it's better to save a friend than to complete a task. About you, well, we'll have to do 2 or 3 times fewer commands. I'm waiting for everyone at the 44 training ground. The blonde man said and disappeared in Hiration. Everyone, come with us, we will escort you. Said Hitaki, realizing that many do not know where this landfill is. Near the training ground, Uzumaki saw fear in the eyes of many genins. This is the forest of death, many may not return home after this ordeal. Animals can kill you there. Now you will be given sheets where you will sign a waiver of the claim in case of death. Your task will be as follows, each team will be given scrolls, some on the earth, some on the sky. You need to arrive at the center of the forest, with 2 scrolls. You are given 3 days to do this. If you do not show up during this time, the exam is over for you. Naruto said, sitting on the fence, and looking at the genins. Thank you for replacing Naruto-san. Anko replied, appearing next to the blonde. You're welcome, Anko-san. The blond man said, looking at Mitarashi. As I understand it, Naruto told you what the meaning of the task is. Now go to the place where you will be given a scroll. Mitarashi said, seeing the fear in the genin's eyes. Like yes to see fear? Uzumaki asked, watching Anko. They are still children, just like you, but you are different, Uzumaki. There is no fear in you. Anko replied, and Uzumaki disappeared in Hiration. The second stage was held by Kanon. Uzumaki, having learned that Orochimaru had made his way to the exam, was on guard so that nothing would happen. An additional stage was also assigned due to the fact that too many participants passed. When it ended, Hiruzen announced the third stage. Naruto sat and calmly watched the third stage. He already understood who would win in the third stage, but it was interesting what the others would be able to show. He was disappointed when many could not show their chapel, and then came the moment when Sasuke came out against Gaara. Something is not clean here, said Kyuubi, dragging Uzumaki into the subconscious. I noticed it too. Jinchuriki is not stable and may break. Plus shinobi around the arena. Be ready, Fox, I feel it will be hot. Uzumaki replied and took out a kunai with the mark of the Thunder God, and after about 5 minutes of the fight, Uzumaki saw how Jinchuriki began to lose control of himself and at the last moment threw kunai, which fell next to Uchiha. Yes, apparently, Chuka did not disappoint. Naruto said, removing Uchiha from under attack. Explosions started in the village and Gaara ran towards the forest to hide while the attack was going on, but, alas, he was unlucky. Uzumaki followed him, where he was able to quickly knock out the one-tailed Jinchuriki. Alas, when he came back to Konoha, the blonde saw how Hiruzen was fighting behind the barrier with Orochimaru. No matter how much Naruto wanted to, but his knowledge was not enough to penetrate this barrier. Goodbye, Naruto. Hiruzen said when he saw Naruto and used the summoning of the god of death, and he was able to take only Orochimaru's hands, after which, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the legendary shinobi, fell to the ground dead, almost taking Orochimaru with him and giving battle to 2 Hokage. I'll find you snakes and kill you, Naruto said, and Orochimaru disappeared. That day was the funeral of the 3rd Hokage. On the same day, many shinobi died, but it was on Hiruzen's grave that Naruto sat and just silently looked at the portrait of Sarutobi. A whole era of legendary shinobi has gone with you. It's a pity, old man, that you didn't leave a receiver worthy of you, Naruto said. Getting up, he bowed and disappeared into Hiration. The next day, Jiraiya arrived, who learned of Hiruzen's death. He was offered to become the 5th Hokage, but Sannin refused, not wanting to burden himself with this, and nominated Tsunade Seiju as the new Hokage. The next day, he and Naruto went in search of her. After Naruto and Jiraiya went to look for Tsunade, Uzumaki spoke little, but often trained along the way, the techniques of the Uzumaki clan, which he once found in Umbu, in order to no longer allow death due to being weak. Naruto, said Jiraiya, seeing that Bijuu's chakra began to cover Uzumaki's body. It happened by accident. The blonde replied, walking on without stopping. Let him go, no need to think about it. Sannin said, seeing the sadness in Naruto's eyes. You wouldn't understand. It was because of my weakness that the old man died. If I had trained more often, I might have been able to save him. Naruto replied, stopping. Sensei was not a weak person, and since it happened, it must have been his time to leave, and you better remember him. Jiraiya said, putting his hand on the blond man's shoulder. Orochimaru. Naruto said angrily and created clones. So somewhere here and Tsunade. Jiraiya replied, and they accelerated. Jiraiya was not stupid and understood that after the fight, the snake would need a healer and the best one was Tsunade. I'm behind you, bastard. Naruto shouted, wanting to hit Sannin. I didn't think you'd arrive so soon. Orochimaru replied, jumping back. Jiraiya, is it true? Tsunade asked, looking at her friend. Yes, he killed old Hiruzen. Jiraiya answered sadly and was ready for a fight. You won't run away now. I'll find you everywhere. The Uzumaki clone said. Who put a mark on Orochimaru? Rasengan. Uzumaki himself shouted, striking at Orochimaru. Orochimaru-sama. Said the boy with glasses and took the blow on himself. Turn on the fox for everything, I will destroy them. Naruto said in a sepulchral voice and scattered the kunai with marks. After all, I was right, it's Hiration. Said Tsunade, seeing what Uzumaki was doing and was surprised. After all, he is their son, that's why he knows this technique. Jiraiya said, seeing the surprise on Tsunade's face. Not today, Naruto Uzumaki. Orochimaru said with pain, realizing that he simply could not survive this fight, and disappeared, summoning a snake. Damn snake. Uzumaki shouted, and collected the kunai. You are going to Konoha Tsunade Senju, Uzumaki finished, handing the hat to Kage. What? Tsunade asked, not understanding what was going on. Upon arrival in Konoha, you will take the place of Hiruzen-sama and become the 5th Hokage. The blond man explained, holding the hat. No, I refuse, replied Tsunade, understanding what was happening. After all, after the death of the 3rd, there were no worthy receivers left. Naruto said sadly and put away his hat. What did you say there? Tsunade asked, not understanding what Uzumaki said. That you are cowards who chose to travel and when it was necessary were not near the sensei. Even now, when the village needs you, you refuse. Uzumaki replied. Starting to put pressure on Senju. Tsunade, you remember yourself, your grandfather was a Hokage. Maybe you'll follow his path. Jiraiya asked, looking at Senju. Bet if you lose, you will become the 5th Hokage. If you win, you can ask for whatever you want. The blond man smiled, knowing that Senju loves gambling. If I win, you'll do something for me. Senju replied, making it clear that she agreed. The way to Konoha, 2 days for a person. For shinobi, half a day, but since you are a Sannin, it's 5 hours to the village. If you arrive before me, you have won. I will not use Hirashine. Naruto said, holding out his hand. No, let's spar without Hiration. Senju shouted and struck at the blonde. Good. Naruto replied, catching Tsunade's hand in front of his face. Releasing his hand, Naruto jumped back and created clones, but Senju quickly smashed them. A little weak. Said Tsunade, looking at the blonde, who is standing still. Naruto wore a fox mask. Then he disappeared in a white haze and appeared behind Senju. So you're Umbu. Said Tsunade, realizing who Uzumaki was. Elements of fire, fire dragon, Uzumaki replied, and the clone surrounded Senju, using the same technique so that Senju could not escape, but Tsunade jumped to the top, where she was immediately met by a fox and put kunai to her neck. You lost the 5th Sama. Said the fox, took out his hat. I just didn't think you could do anything other than Hiration. Replied Tsunade, wearing a hat, as she lost the argument. Hold on, I'll take us to the village. Naruto said, taking off his mask and putting it under his bags. On the same day, they arrived in Konoha, where the next day they officially announced Tsunade Senju as the 5th Hokage. When Tsunade accepted the post of Hokage, she picked up the dossier on Umbu and saw all the dossiers except one, Naruto. Raven. Tsunade said, and an Umbu fighter appeared. Yes, Hokage-sama. Shinobi answered, kneeling on one knee. Find the dossier on Naruto Uzumaki, otherwise I can't find him anywhere. Expressed Tsunade, reviewing all the dossier again. He's not Hokage-sama. Hiruzen-sama destroyed him because Naruto was dear to him. He didn't want anyone to know what Naruto-kun was capable of. Raven replied, knowing that the case was destroyed. What did you want to hide with this sensei? Tsunade said softly, thinking about the raven's words. Before Hiruzen-sama's death happened, he made a promise with Umbu that no one would know what the firstborn of the fourth Sama was capable of. The raven finally answered and disappeared in Shunshin. Somewhere in a couple of minutes, two shinobi appeared in the office. You wanted to see us? Asked shinobi coming into the office. Yes, Kakashi, guy. I found a document here where sensei asked you to train Naruto. What can you say about him? Tsunade asked, wanting to know a little about Naruto. A good shinobi. The son of the fourth Hokage and Kushina-san did not show himself badly at the academy. I wanted to continue Kakashi further. That's not what I'm asking. Tsunade interrupted, clenching her fist. I was a prisoner of the Willow Country. Not broken. I received Chunin ahead of schedule. I was able to find a common language with Biju, whom everyone despised. He was able to join the ranks of Umbu Root, giving a decent fight to Hiruzen-sama. Killed the Mist Swordsman and his comrade. If it's simple, then a prized shinobi who will become a replacement for his father. Naruto said, appearing on the back of Tsunade. Everyone leave the office. Naruto stay. Tsunade said, and Kakashi and Mato Guy left the office. Zabuza Momochi is not a weak opponent, so also his partner Haku. Well, since sensei believed you, from now on you will be in Umbu under my command. Said Tsunade, turning to the blonde. I'm sorry, but no, I have a task that I haven't finished yet. Uzumaki replied and went to the exit. What kind of task? Tsunade asked, watching the blonde leave. To restore order in Korin. That's why Lord Third sent me there. Naruto replied and disappeared in Hirashin. Even more confusion, said Tsunade, not understanding anything already. Naruto appeared on the basis of the Umbu route. I need time to do what we discussed with the old man. Said the fox, seeing that everyone was training. What do you need from us? Yamato asked, looking at the fox. Leave me at the training ground alone. For a month, the fox replied, and created clones. And what did the third one ask you to do? The girl asked, approaching Naruto. What you can't do. So I ask you all to leave me alone. Uzumaki replied and all the Umbu disappeared. The next day, Tsunade wanted to see Naruto. Hokage-sama, the fox can't go on missions or leave the Root Isles at the moment. Yamato said, appearing in front of Tsunade. And what is the reason? Tsunade asked, wanting to know what was wrong. When Naruto was kidnapped, Hiruzen-sama wanted to start a war. The elders did not allow this to be done, and coincidentally, Naruto was able to return, and the elders died. And at one point, Naruto Uzumaki was able to agree with Sarutobi Hiruzen that he himself would do everything when he was ready for it. Yamato replied and disappeared into Shunshin. Tsunade did not delve into the details, but she would have done it better. So exactly a month passed and the fox disappeared from the landfill. Well, old man, it's sad that you won't see how I will return Konoha status. Said Naruto, bringing colors to Hiruzen's grave. Then Naruto went to his parents, where he sat for half a day talking to himself. I'll be back as soon as I can pull it off. Said the blonde man, bowing before the graves of his parents. And where are you going? Tsunade asked, standing behind the blonde. When I was kidnapped, they cast doubt on the strength of the village and the old man. Now I will return the favor. Uzumaki replied in a sepulchral voice and disappeared in Hirashin. What did you think, kid? Said Tsunade, wanting to understand what kind of person Naruto really is. So a couple of weeks passed. Hokage-sama. With a shout, Tsunade's assistant flew into the office. What is a Shizuna? Tsunade asked, wanting to know what was the matter. Naruto Uzumaki returned to Konoha with prisoners and severe injuries. The woman replied. Damn it. To jail them, and Naruto is urgently in the hospital. Drive the best doctors there. Senju shouted, realizing what Uzumaki had done, and went to the hospital herself by jumping out of the window. 5 minutes later, all the doctors were at the hospital to help Naruto when they found out that he had brought prisoners from Willow. No need. Naruto said when they wanted to tear his jacket. What happened? Tsunade asked, seeing that Uzumaki had woken up. Let's just say Tsuchikage didn't like what I did. Naruto replied, without emotion, understanding the consequences. Yes, and I would like to gather a council of clan